Welcome to the Braille Academy, and in this lesson we are going to look at lower word signs. Lower word signs. Okay, we are going to look at lower word signs. That is in section 2 of unit 4. Remember we said unit 4 is divided into 3 sections. Okay, and section 1 we looked at lower word signs, lower group signs, and then this section 2 we are looking at lower word signs, and then section 3 we look at the Braille composition signs. So this is what I'm saying. We are saying we are in unit 4, okay, whereby in unit 4 we are looking at lower sign, whereby these lower signs are divided into 2, okay, whereby we have lower group signs and lower word signs, and again we look at Braille composition sign. So we have looked at lower group signs, and then now in this lesson we are looking at lower word signs. This is what we are saying, okay? This is what we are saying. We are saying the unit, this is unit 4 now, the unit is divided into 3 sections, namely section 1, section 2, section 3. Whereby section 1 we looked at lower group signs, okay, lower group signs, and we are over, okay, we looked at the lower group signs, all right, and we are over. Then in this lesson now we are going to start this section 2, and we are going to look at lower word signs, okay. Remember here we were looking at lower group signs, but now section 2 is talking about word signs, okay. These are two things different, okay. These are two things different. Remember, when we started looking at word sign and group sign, I differentiated, or I gave you a definition between the difference between group sign and word sign. So we are in section 2, okay, we are here. So we are going to start looking at section 2. Okay, now let us start. Okay, good. Now, as I said, we are in section 2, and that is lower word signs, okay? Lower word sign. We're going to look at what are these word signs that are referred to us as lower. And remember, teachers, let me remind you, we are calling them lower word signs because they are going to contain these lower dots, okay? They are not going to have any dot in upper part, okay? That's why we call them lower. We call them lower because they don't contain these upper dots. That is dot 1 and dot 4. They will not have those dots. So we call them lower because they are in this lower dot. Lower dots start from dot 2, dot 3, dot 5, and dot 6. So they just play around this part, but not upper part. So we call them lower. So lower word signs. Now here, what we are going to look at, let me give you an overview. Because we are looking at word signs, now here we are going to look at signs whereby a single sign standing alone, okay, depending with the rule, means a whole word. A single sign or one sign representing a whole word, that's what we call a word sign. But now these word signs, they are going to be lower, okay. Remember, when we were looking at upper word signs, we looked at some letters of alphabet, okay, whereby we call them simple upper word signs. Like B represent but, isn't it? C represent can. These are called simple upper word signs, okay. Even CH, we call it is here in even, CH, we said it can mean child. So these are word sign, okay. But now this one, you can see it has got this dot 1, okay. This is dot 1, dot 4, dot 5, dot 2, dot 5, dot 3, dot 6. So this child has got dot 1 and dot 6. So this one is just an upper sign, okay, and it represents the word child. So this is what we call a word sign. A word sign representing a whole word. But now, in this case now, it is different from this case. Because if you see here, you can see that SH can mean the word shall when stand alone, but it contains upper dots. But now, we are going to look at now lower signs that can represent a whole word. And that word is a word sign. So we are calling them word sign. lower word signs, whereby we are going to have some signs that do not have this upper dot, okay? That do not have this upper dot, and then we refer to them as lower word sign, lower word signs. Good. Now, this lower word signs in section 2 has got also some categories. It is divided into 3 categories, okay? Let us read those categories very fast. Now, we are told that there are 3 categories of the lower word signs. There are 3 categories of the lower word signs. In other words, they're telling us these lower word signs, they are divided into 3 subsections, okay? Whereby the first category is those that must be spaced from all other signs. So we are going to look at the lower word signs that must, okay, that must be spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation marks. Then the second category that we look at later, we will look at those that must be spaced from all other words, but may in some cases be in contact with the punctuation signs, okay? And then later we are going to look at those that may only be used adjoining the word that follows. So we can see that this is the category of the lower word signs. We have 3 categories, okay? Whereby the first category, we are going to look at lower word signs that must be spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation marks. Then the second category, we are going to look at the lower word signs that must be spaced from all other words, but may in some cases be in contact with the punctuation sign. And then the last category, we will look at the lower word signs that may be used adjoining the word that follows. So we are going to look at all those things and we are going to understand. Now, as I said, let us start with the first category. So we are going to start with the first category, and this category is lower word signs that must be spaced from all other signs. So I have written them somewhere. They are here in my book. So I want us to write them together and see how do we write them. How do we write them? Okay, let us write together and see how do we write them. Okay, now I think you can see. I think it's clear. Good. Now remember, we are in unit 4, section 2. Okay, and in section 2 we are looking at lower word signs. Lower word signs. And we said these lower word signs are divided into 3, but we are going to start with the first category, that is lower word signs that must be spaced. Now this spaced, the word spaced is the key here. Spaced from all other signs. All other sign. Spaced from all other sign. It must be standing alone. It must stand alone for them to be contracted. Good. Now there are 4 of them. That is be, were, his, was. Be, were, his, was. Be, were, his, was. Now these are the group signs. These are the word signs that must be written spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation. Listen to me very carefully, teachers. Okay, there's something I'm going to explain here, and it's going to help you. Okay, nice. So we are saying we have 4 lower word signs. These are word signs, okay, whereby they are going to represent a whole word. That's why we are calling them word sign. Good. Now here, let us see how do we write be, how do we write were, how do we write his, and how do we write was. Okay, in Braille. So be is written as lower b. Were is written as lower g. Okay, then his is written as lower his, lower h, sorry. Then was is written as lower j. So teachers, let me explain something. B, I said, is B is written as lower b. Lower b. Were is written as lower g. Then his is written as lower h. Then was is written as lower j. Now, this means, where is my ruler? Where is my ruler? This means, okay. Now, this means, this is lower B, it's here. This is lower G, it's here. This is lower H, it's here. And this is lower J, it's here. So, these are the word signs. These are the signs that represent these word signs, okay? These are the signs that represent these word signs, okay? Okay, so let me first draw this line. Very fast, very important, okay? Good. So we are saying, listen to me very carefully, teachers, please. We have be, were, his, was, whereby be is written as lower b, were is written as lower g, his is written as lower h, was is written as lower j. And I explained many times why do we call them lower, because it is just that letter but lowered, okay? That is it. I don't think I'm going to repeat it, okay? Good. Now, someone will ask, why? Now, this sign, we said lower b, remember, lower b. Let me explain. Lower b is written like this. And we said this lower b is used when we started looking at unit 4 and we started with the lower group signs. We said that this lower b is used to represent b, okay, at the beginning of a word, isn't it? Whereby we looked at be, con, dis, com. Okay, we said those are the lower group signs. Now we used it as a group sign, and we said there are group signs that must be contracted at the beginning of a word. They are be, con, dis, com. And b, the sign of b was like this. The same this sign, we said it is b when we come to the lower group signs that must be contracted at the beginning of a word. Sorry, at the middle of a word. Remember, this is at the beginning. Let me do it very fast because it is very, sorry, this is B, this is I, beginning, like that. So beginning of a word, this one is middle. And then we said again, this one can be used to mean the semi colon. Okay, so again, that means this B can be used when differently depending on the place where you put it. So lower b can be used as when it at the beginning of a word, it means b. When it is at the middle of a word, it means bb. When the lower b it is at the end of a word, it means a punctuation, and that punctuation is semicolon. Okay, again we have seen this lower b when used standing alone means B. For example, in the word I will be happy. Sorry, happy. You see now, that means that you are going to write in Braille, let me write here very fast, will be. So B you write as lower B standalone to mean this word, and that's why we call them word sign. So lower word signs that must be spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation. Be happy. So happy, you just write letter H, then you write letter A, then you write letter P, then you write another letter P, okay? Then you write letter Y, okay? So our stress is here. So you can see very clearly that this B must be spaced from all other signs. In other words, it must be standing alone. Spaced in this side, spaced in this side. So all these signs must be spaced for them to be used as word sign. That is the rule. That is the rule. Then example 2 is wa. Wa, we said, is written as lower G. Wa is written as lower G, isn't it? Remember, we said lower G when we looked at the lower group signs that must be written in the middle of a word. In the middle, we said it can mean G, isn't it? Again, at the beginning or at the end of a word, we said they can represent let me write here, beginning or end, it means what? Opening and closing bracket. It's a punctuation, okay? Then again, we have seen this lower G. It means wa. But when does it mean wa? When it is standing alone. So wa, okay, wa, were you there? So this wa, when writing, you write it standing alone to mean this wa. So you are going to write as lower G standalone to mean this wa. Okay? Okay? So wa is used as lower G to mean wa when it is standing alone. Remember, these are word signs, okay? And I said, word signs, these are signs that are used to represent a whole word, okay? So in this case, B means a whole word B. So this lower B means B. This lower G, this one sign represents this whole word, which is wa. The same to his. This lower H alone represent this whole word his. This lower J represent a whole word was. So that's why we said word signs, these are signs that are used to represent a whole word, or these are signs used to represent a complete word. But now in this case, they are lower, whereby there's no dot in upper part, okay? That's why we refer to them as lower, okay? They are punctuation, they are also group signs, and they are also word signs, depending on how you use them. And that's why we have this rule, okay? This rule guides us on how to use these signs so that they mean different things. Remember, in exam, you can be asked to write 4 lower word signs that must be spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation. You can be asked, okay, to list 4 lower word signs that must be spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation. So you are going to say be, were, his, was, but this is how they are written when it comes to the Braille, okay? So his is written standalone to mean his. Lower J is written standalone to mean was. And I have explained in these 2 examples, and therefore it will apply to this, to his, and to was. So this is how you write you was and his, but it must be standing alone, meaning there must be a space in this side and a space in this side. So it must be alone or standing alone to mean these words. And they cannot be adjoined even with a full stop. You know, a full stop is a punctuation, isn't it? And we are saying this thing cannot be cannot be adjoined with a hyphen. So you have to be very, very keen, okay? They cannot be adjoined with a hyphen. Now, let me write some few examples and see how do we use these word signs when it comes to words and sentences. Okay, now examples are here with us. Now let us do them, okay? Very, very fast, okay? And we are going to understand. So we have like 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to write them very fast. And remember, we are looking at be, were, his, was. And then we are going to contract them here and see what we are supposed to do. But again, before we write them, let us read something from the module. It's here. Okay, let us read something from the module. As you already know, okay, the above signs, this one, be, were, his, was, serve as punctuation marks as well as lower group signs, isn't it? So therefore, to express the particular words, the word sign must be spaced from all other signs, including, it's very specific, including the punctuations. This means that if in the print copy, the word be, were, his, was are either preceded or followed by punctuation mark, they must be spelled out. Preceded or followed by a punctuation. So I'm going to explain what does it mean by the term preceded or followed. Okay, so let us write these examples in a book and then do them together, and then we'll be able to understand what they are explaining here. Good. Now I've written those examples here already, and let us look at them very fast, and then we are going to do what? To understand. The first example is the book was new. The book was new. Remember, we are looking at was and was, his, okay, like that, okay, and were, okay. We are going to look at it now. The book was new, so you are going to contract there, okay. And by the way, teachers, don't confuse and contract th and then spell out e, okay. Do not contract th like this, okay, and then spell out e like that, okay. It is, yes, it is there, but it's wrong. It does not follow the rule of Braille, okay. You contract the whole thing, then book, you just spell out the way it is, and then that's another o, and then k. Then was. Now this is what we are saying. So was is a lower j, and then new, you just spell out e, then w. I told you w is the mirror of r, and then full stop. So teachers, this full stop is very important. When it comes to Braille, make sure that when you see a punctuation, you consider it. So the book was new. Full stop. So this is what I'm saying. Let me explain this. So you can see this was, we have contracted to mean this word. So it is used as a word sign, whereby they must be spaced in this side and this side. It must be standing alone. And we have been told that from the module, you must space it even from the punctuation. So we have understood that this be, were, his, was, you must write them standing alone, okay. You must contract them when they are standing alone. So the second example, how nice she was. So how, you write your h, okay, then you contract ow. I told you ow is the opposite of o, okay. So how, you contract this ow, isn't it? Then you write nice just the way it is. Then she, you contract sh, and I told you sh is written as c.6, and then you spell out e, then was. Good. Now this is a very good example, because from the rule we are being told that do not contract them when they are adjoined, okay, with the punctuation. You only contract them when they are standing alone, when no any other sign is added to them. That is what it means, okay. So we are going to do what? To contract. Somebody is calling me. Okay, we are saying she, you contract like that, and then was. Now we are here. We are saying was, be, were, his, was. These word signs, you contract them when they are standing alone, okay. When there is any punctuation adjoined to them, you spell them out, because we said these are lower word signs that must be spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation sign. So they are very special in their own way, okay. You don't adjoin them with any punctuation, be it full stop, question mark, exclamation mark, comma, anything. Good. Now was, you just spell out. Do not contract was in this case, because we have this punctuation. This one is an exclamation mark, so you spell out. This is w, that is a, that is s, and that is s, and that is exclamation mark, okay. This is exclamation mark. So you say like that, then nice, then she, sh contracted e, and then w a s exclamation mark, okay, as simple as that. So it's very important to obey the rule, okay. You don't have otherwise, okay. By the way, Braille, for you to write in Braille, you must follow the rules. Otherwise, you'll be writing your own things, okay. So whenever you write, you disobey the rule and then you contract was in this case. Now that means it's not, that one is a different thing, okay. That one is a different thing. And when you will find that there are some signs, when you don't follow the rules, they will confuse and mean other things, Okay, we will come to such things, okay, as we continue. It was his book. So here, it, remember, under simple upward signs, we said it is X standalone, okay. Was, I told you, is lower J, okay. Then his, it is what? It is lower H, and then book, you do what? You write or you spell out book, 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 okay. Okay, and then full stop. It was his book. Okay, here we did a mistake. This one is H, this one is not B. Okay. Okay, it's just mistakes are inevitable. Okay, no one is perfect, so you must make some slight mistake, but you have to be very keen. So this one was B, his book. So this is B, not H. Then O, K, and then full stop. Okay, good. So these things are very, you have to be very, very keen when writing these dots. Okay, you need to be very keen. Okay, that pen was his. Remember, we are having a full stop here, and a full stop is what? A punctuation. And the rule told us, do not contract them when they are in contact with any sign, including the punctuation. That, so we said under simple upward signs, that is T standalone. Then pen, we are going to contract we are going to contract EN. That is like that. And then was, I said it's lower J standalone. Then his, because it is connected to this full stop, we are going to spell it out. Okay, H, I, and then S, and then you put what? A full stop, like that. So that pen was his, full stop. Okay, so you can see now it must be spaced. You see now was is spaced, his here you space, okay. Was here you spell out because of this punctuation, like that. Was here we spaced, and then again was here we have spaced. Okay, now this is how you are supposed to write this be, were, his, was as word sign, so you must do what? You must space them. You must space them. Even when you get were, when you get his, when you get was, you get be. For example, let me come up with another example here. Okay. Will you be mine? For example, it's a question. Will you be mine? Okay, let's assume it's a question. So here you're going to write will as W standalone. Then you are going to write Y standalone. Okay, then B, you are going to write lower B standalone. Then mine, you are going to contract in and then spell out the rest. So M, then in contracted, and then E. And then you do what? You write your question mark. Okay, so will you be mine? Now listen, teachers. So remember, these are simple upward signs, this one and this one. Okay, but now this one, you can see it is what we refer to as lower word signs that must be written that must be written spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation. Let me repeat it. This and this and this, they are all word signs. Will is a word sign, you is a word sign, be is a word sign. But they are different because you can see very clearly, will has got a dot in upper part, which is dot 4. You has got, in fact, both upper dots, dot 1 and dot 4. But B, it is only lower dot. It does not have upper dots. And that's why this one are just upper, simple upper word signs. That's why we call them simple upper word signs. Those letters of alphabet, apart from A, I, and O, we refer to them as simple upper word signs. They're upper because they have dot 1 and dot 4. But now here we are looking at lower word signs. So in this case, you can see this one is a lower B. Standing alone, there's a space here and space here to mean the word be. Mine, you contract in here. Were you there? For example, these are just my own, my own sentence. Okay, so were, you just do what? Write lower G standalone, then you write lower you write Y standalone, and then you contract the, and then spell out R and E, and then you write the question mark. So here were will be a what? A lower G. Okay, then you write U, Y, that is U standalone. Then there you contract the like that, and then you write R, and then you write E, and then you write the question mark. Listen, teachers, let me explain something. So we are saying this lower G represent the word were. U, it's a Y standalone. It represent U. It's a word sign. Now here we are coming to, let me receive this call very fast. So let me explain something here. So we are saying were standalone, whereby it must be spaced. U, it means lower G means were. Y standalone means U. They are both word sign. But now this one is a lower word sign. This is an upper word sign because it has got dot 1 and dot 4. So there. Now let me explain something here, because most of the people or teachers make mistake when it comes to the word like this. Remember we said there is a rule that guides us on which word signs or group signs to contract. For example, in the word there is TH-ER. So you can contract TH and ER, isn't it? But we were being told that you always go with a contraction with many letters. So in this case, do not contract TH and ER. Contract the, because it's only one braille cell and it takes many letters. So in this case, and even there is an upper sign and ER is a lower sign. So in this case, make sure you go with the. Okay? So make sure that you are very, very keen when it comes to that. So that is how you're supposed to do, and that's why I've contracted the, spell out the rest. Okay? So that is it. So this is the contracted R, E, and then question mark. So that is it. So let us read something from the module, not even the module, but my book, whereby I call it the rules of Unified English Braille. It is here. Let us read very fast together. Okay? Let us read very fast. It's gonna help us. So we are being told that be, were, his, was. Okay? Note, these same signs may also represent punctuation, isn't it? We all know that. Okay? Use the lower word signs for be, were, his, or was when the word it represents is standing alone. Okay? When the word it represents is standing alone. However, the lower word signs is not used when in contact with any punctuation sign, including the hyphen and dash. That has only lower dots. For the purpose of this rule, any type of question mark which may be represented is considered to have only lower dots. When a capital indicator or a capital terminator is present, it is disregarded in determining whether to use the lower word sign. Now, we are going to look at capital indicators later, and we are going to understand. But we have seen that this be, were, his, was, basically, we are told you don't contract them when they are in contact with any sign, even the punctuation. And they have even given us some examples like hyphen and dash and all that. So it's very important for you to follow those rules. And remember, again, I'm using this book called the Rules of Unified English Braille. That is 2nd edition 2013. And it's published by ICEB, or International Council on English Braille. Okay? So this is a very good book. Actually, it has got very many pages. Okay, it has got very many pages. I don't know even how many. This is 152. It's a one book, but I have divided it into two because it cannot it goes up to 320 pages. So it has got so many things, and it's called the rules of English, the rules of Unified English Braille, or UAB. 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 So this, it has got so many things that always come in exams, and those things are not in a module. Okay, they can ask you some rules that are in this book and it's not there in the module, but it's good. We are going to use all of them and they are going to help us. Okay, remember we are looking at okay, be, were, his, was. This is what we have learned today, and we have said these are lower word sign. Okay, these are lower word sign. They are word sign whereby they are used to represent a whole word. Be, were, his, was. Remember, word sign is a sign whereby when standing alone means a whole word. But group sign, this means these are letters that you bring together, okay, then you form a word. Okay, group sign that we looked at. Okay, for example, the word become. Become. Okay, the word become, we used be as a group sign because be, then you add these letters toward the word become. Okay, remember we looked at be, con, dis, com. Okay, and we said these are lower group signs that must be written at the beginning of a word. And we said be, con, dis, com must be written at the beginning. So here you use be as a group sign because you have added. Remember from the term group. Group means bringing two or more things together to form something. Okay, this one comes from the word group. So this one B, you contract as a lower B. Then immediately here you adjoin with C. Okay, and then you spell out O, you spell out M, and then you spell out E. So this is the word become in Braille. Do not make a mistake of contracting com here because it is at the middle of a word. So this one B has been contracted and has been used as a group sign. So group sign, this is whereby you bring some signs or different signs together to form a word or a longer word. But word sign, this is where a single sign standing alone, or depending on the rule, a single sign representing a whole word, as we have seen be, were, his, was. So they are written like this and they represent this word when they are standing alone. So today we have looked at be, were, his, was, and we have said these are the lower word signs that must be written spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation. Again, we have said that be, were, his, was, they cannot be adjoined with punctuation. And remember, in exam, you can be asked, name any 4 lower word signs that must be written spaced from all other signs. So you're going to name these 4 of them. Be, were, his, was, but in Braille. Again, they can ask you like this is in next exam. Give the rules to consider. Listen to me very carefully. Give 3 rules to consider when using be, were, his, was, or when contracting be, were, his, was. So they are telling you to give the rule to consider before you contract this word sign. So first of all, you know that they must be spaced from all other signs, including the punctuation. Okay, you don't have any other signs. Sorry, you don't have any other option. You must. It is must. You do what? It is must. So you write them standing alone, preceded and followed. So to proceed means followed by. So they must be, for example, be, were, his, was. So meaning preceded, followed, preceded, followed, preceded, followed. So to precede, it is to come before, then followed is to come after. So it must be preceded by a space and followed by a space. Okay, space, then space. All of them, they must have these spaces for them to be contracted. Okay, that is it. Thank you very much. That's the end of the lesson. May God bless you.